Hi guys, I am back. I'm done with my ADC exam, my first attempt, and my only attempt. I have no intentions to go back to Australia even if I fail. I'm done with it. It was taxing in a lot of ways, actually. Uh, I know I have the privilege of saying this that I'm done with the exam, even if I fail, I don't care because I am already well settled in Dubai, and this exam was kind of a career boost for me because I wanted a consultant license in Dubai. But I know there are a lot of people for whom this exam is so important because without it, they can't practice in Australia and they're living in Australia, or they're going to be married in Australia and they need this exam no matter what. So, yes, I understand the gravity of the situation, and that's why I am choosing to make this video. I hope it helps. I'll briefly describe how my journey was, and this is to all those candidates who have a lot of responsibilities, have a family, have a small child at home, have a clinic, and have to manage a lot of things. I understand what you're going through because ADC is a journey that only the person who's going through will understand because there are so many ifs and buts and so many sacrifices involved. Like, I'll give you my example. When I was leaving from Dubai to Australia, my son, he just is like 1 year and 1.5 months. Okay, so he had started to stand by holding on to objects. Now everybody knows that I had a difficult journey in having him. I had two miscarriages, I had an ectopic, and I had a big surgery because my ectopic was life threatening, and it was a 2 hour surgery where even one of my tube was cut off. And after that we had our son, so it was very traumatizing. So having my son was is a very big deal for all of us, so I didn't want to miss any of his milestones. I thought I'm just going for 12 days, and when I'll be back, probably at that time, he'll start just walking, without support. And that is such a big milestone for any parent. So I told my husband that I will miss my son a lot, so do not send me any of his videos. And though I have cameras installed at home and I can access it through my phone, I chose not to watch because I knew if I'm away from him and I start seeing him on the camera, I'll start crying about it. So, 6 days on in Australia, 3 days just to go for my exam. My husband sends me a video, and of course, I was tempted to watch it. And I opened it, and I saw my son took a few steps without any support, like in his baby ways. I missed such a major milestone. I mean, I of course wanted to be around him and just savor the moment. I just could not look at the rest of the video and I just started crying out there. I was like, I don't want to give this exam. I just want to go back. This is more important for me than what I have. But then, yeah, my family told me it's okay. When we'll be back, he'll be walking in front of you anyways. But I was like, no, but this was his first thing, and the amount of things that he went through, and I love him so much. But, anyways, so I know in your life also you may have something that would be so dear to you, and you would be sacrificing because the exam has its own process and hardship. I get it. It's not like all the candidates who have cleared the exam who come out with all the happy, lucky stories, and though they also have gone through stuff. I'm shooting this video now because I don't know my result yet. It's going to come out somewhere around June 10 or 15, I guess. But still, I just want to share my journey. I don't care even if I fail. I mean, this is what a lot of candidates go through. They don't come out when they have failed out, in the open. But you people, I mean, who have given multiple attempts have messaged me, and when I'm talking, all those people who have messaged me such long messages with like heartbreaking stories. I get it. I get it. And you know what? I went through the same. So I'm not afraid to share. So, anyways, how was the exam? Exam first day was my technicals. Pretty good. I was confident. I finished all my tasks in 5 hours. That was my aim, to finish with 1 hour spare so that I can do a bit of finishing and polishing here and there if required. and everything was under control and went as per planned. uh, but I will describe in detail my technical experience, the tasks that I had, and how many things I dropped and gave Viva. In a clinical practice, I have 10 patients back to back. I will not drop a single thing, and I'll be managing everything. And there, it's just me, and it's not even a patient, and still I managed to drop a three-way. I managed to drop the handpiece. I dropped a gauze, and I dropped a wedge and everything. I mean, you get so conscious that yeah, so many people around me also dropped, but then you have to be confident in giving the viva after that. So anyways, I'll describe that part in detail, and I will also tell you when the viva happens, when you drop something, what you're supposed to say. Okay. So part two, that the day two of the exam, I had the afternoon badge for the OSCEs. So there are 10 stations, 6 are communication OSCEs and 4 are the skilled ones. My skilled OSCEs were good. I mean, I did my best and I was very conscious. I wasn't stressed. I was very comfortable in doing it, and I finished in the 10 minutes. I was very well aware of what I was doing. So I don't think so I have made a mistake there. And the communication OSCEs, 5 stations were very good for me. One station, room number 6, the lady out there, the examiner, was very rude, mean, sarcastic, arrogant. Maybe she was playing a part of that patient, or maybe she was like that. I have no idea. But then it wasn't a pleasant experience. Like, I tried my best to be as polite and as a professional as possible, but the way she was giving the response, as if, like, who are you, and how dare you, like, kind of a thing, which I have never encountered such an experience in my life, because no matter how the patient is, even if they are angry or upset, they have a particular manner to behave. Nobody behaves like this the way she was behaving. So I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen in that station. That was my treatment cluster station. So even if I fail that, and if I pass in others, I hope that's a good thing. It wasn't information or diagnostics. So that was my exam appearance. Now I've been asked this question, and coming to the main point of this video, how to go about it. So many candidates have messaged me that why is it so expensive, the coachings, the exam, and it's a big business. Yes, you are right. You're very, very correct. And before I go on to tell you the most affordable way to prepare, which I realized after doing I took 3 mentors, by the way, for the exam, because this was my one-shot exam, and I was like, I don't want to have that guilt feeling that I didn't prepare enough or I didn't have enough information. I took 3 mentors. So after going through all these things, I've realized the most affordable way to prepare, and only if somebody would have told me that. But then again, probably my journey is to go through all this so that I can tell you all of these things. So firstly, thank you to all of you, all those people, my candidates, not my candidates. When I say my candidates, means those people who have enrolled with me for part 1, and all those who have not enrolled me for any of the things, but still they took out their time and messaged me, because they are a part of our Facebook group, wishing me all the best luck for the exam, and they are eagerly awaiting my video like this to share how it was. When I was crying about my son's this thing video, like that time also I was getting a lot of messages like, we are looking forward for your videos, doctor, like best of luck for your exam. That kind of motivated me that a lot of others are waiting for me to come and give my experience. Like, I felt responsible. 60% of my exam I have given out just out of that responsibility. Seriously, like, my heart was in Dubai at home, but I was like, no, I need to be more responsible, see the bigger picture. A lot of people's things are dependent on me, because they really look forward to what I say. And in the morning itself, somebody sent me a really nice message saying that we trust your words, doctor, and I want to be accountable for that. So yeah, how to go about it and why it is so expensive. See, ADC exam, they take around $6,000 per candidate, okay, for the part 2 exam. They have zero liability, So that they, on the 6th floor, they have made this exam center, and each session, like mine was the 19th session, each session there are 24 candidates, 12 in day 1 and 12 in day 2. 6,000 multiplied by 12, it's almost like what, $1 lakh or something. 24 candidates, yeah, 6,000 multiplied by 24 candidates. They are making, in a matter of 2 days, like more than $150,000 worth of money. Okay, it's a big business. Like, I'm sure ADC must be contributing a huge chunk of Australia's economy. They are never going to stop that. And in my session, I think probably 7 or 8 were like first attempters like me, the rest were repeaters. So it's not that the candidate pays just once to ADC, it's multiple payments. You understand? So it's a very big business for them. And that's why I don't think so they'll ever be transparent or tell you why they flunked you. And the worst part is, I get it that it's a business, fair enough. But then you're exploiting the people, because apart from clearing ADC, there is absolutely no other way that you can practice that exploitation, that no matter how much we keep our fees, you're gonna pay for it, is sad. That is, I feel, the mentality of ADC, because they don't come out with the feedbacks as to why you failed, in which like what exactly you did that made them fail you. So it's a mystery, and when it's a mystery, it's all biasness. Like, it's like my will, I want to fail you and I want to pass you because you're not giving out exactly why you have failed me, you understand? So this business is continue to go on because it's huge amount of money. Just imagine, they probably must be having what, 60 to 70 sessions in a year. The amount of money they are making is crazy. So there's that. Even if they make the fees of the Part 2 exam as 10,000 Australian dollars, people are gonna pay for it because they don't have any other choice, and that is exploitation. But this is what it is, their words. Now, this mentality has been adopted by the people who conduct courses. See, again, doing a business is not a bad thing. It's okay so long as you are giving out your teachings and your techniques and whatever. Exploitation is if somebody has taken your course and not cleared in one attempt, not because it's the candidate's fault, you charge him all over again the same amount when he wants to come back to you. I feel that is exploitation. I feel you can help the candidates by probably charging them less, or not charging them at all. Like, it's not fair, I feel. And like, I recently had, like, I'm not going to say where I went and took my course right now, but there was this incident that I saw. So I had taken just for a week course in Australia, just to practice before I give the exam. And there was this other lady from a different part of the world who had come, and she had also taken the same thing but without any demos from the mentor. So and there were candidates who had taken the full-time course also, which means that the mentor would give them all the demos. So all of us were sitting in the same room and practicing, and the mentor starts to give demo to her full course students, and she's sitting right there in front of us. Now, of course, when she starts to say, this is my technique and this is the easiest way, you're about to give an exam, you do develop this fear of missing out thing, right? So I was kind of comfortable because I was like, it's okay, I'll just practice my stuff. I wasn't taking that demo. But the lady next to me, she was getting a little, anxious that what if what she knows is not enough, and she wants to see that demo because the mentor is sitting right there but not showing her and showing the other people. Other people have paid for the full course and she hasn't. And then the next thing I know is that the next day she was in the morning apparently crying, and she was like, you know what, you take the difference of the course but give me the demos as well because I feel I'm missing out on something. Well, she wasn't aware that demos were not included in her course or whatever, but she's there in your center, you're giving the demos in front of her. Of course, you're creating that fear of missing out. I mean, what if just include her in your demos. A big deal. She's already paid for some of your course. What will happen if you show one more person your technique, you know? But anyways, she paid the difference and then she got the demo. So this thing that only my techniques will work, and creating this fear of missing out. Like, see, everybody wants to clear this exam in the one shot. So when I saw that incident, it didn't feel good to me. But then I was like, this is what it is, you know. Like, the mentor also has cleared the exam. You exactly know what you've gone through, and then you try to exploit that feeling in another person. So I'm sure this is how business-minded people become, like, eventually minting on the ADC. So anyways, yeah, ADC gives you a handbook telling the rubrics of what they want. They don't tell you how to do it. It's like me giving you a manual, assemble an aeroplane, you know, but I will not tell you how to do it. Of course, you will not know how to do it, no matter, you know, the things, what needs to be done. You don't know how it's to be done. That how is what the mentor teaches you and the courses. Now, in that also, since I went through all the three mentors, all three of them have different techniques to do it. But the best technique that you will get is practicing by yourself. Of course, a guidance helps. Like out of all the three mentors, one mentor showed me the complicated way of reaching to a particular outcome. For example, an endo task, if I say, it's a little difficult task, but once you get it, it becomes really easy. So my first mentor showed me a really complicated way of getting it. My second mentor, I had just taken the videos of it. It looked very easy when the person was performing on the videos, but when I started to do it, I kind of found it difficult. And with the third mentor, I had not taken any demos, so I don't know what needs to be done. But then that was just my practice session, supervised ones. And by the time I had practiced my task enough to know what I need to do, okay? So there are many courses who will tell you to come for 3 weeks and 4 weeks and 5 weeks. What they do is they will show you how the task needs to be done, and then they will leave you to practice it again and again. And you have to sit there and practice again and again as you have to show and go back to the mentor. But devoting 4 or 5 weeks, like 10 hours a day practice, okay, those people who have graduated, have no responsibilities, lots of money, great, good for you, go ahead, do that. For those people like me who are practicing, who have a family at home, who are responsible for tons of other things, no boss, I can't do that. So this video is for those people, how to get it done in the most affordable way, in a less time as in not practicing 10 hours a day, but the number of months to practice would increase, of course. But that's okay, because you're doing everything. You're not abandoning everything just to practice on ADC, okay? So here are my steps, which I have written down, and I will show you, which is the most affordable way to do it. And no, I'm not starting my part 2 coaching right now, but if enough candidates like request me to do so, this is a plan I would be going through, and this is the plan which I would have taken had somebody offered it to me. So yes, like first I said, the task, there are 6 technical tasks, and there are various ways to reach. It's like me telling you there is a 20-floored building, and I'll tell you, you know what, the way to reach is tie a rope and you climb it, or you take the stairs and you go it, or you drop off from an aeroplane and land it on the top of the building. Or I'll say, you know what, go on the ground floor, take a right, then take a left, reach the elevator, go inside, press 20th floor, reach on the top, and that's it, your task is done. So I'm telling you the elevator way. A lot of people have a lot of other ways which also work, but then because they want you to spend so much time with them, because how else they would make money, they'll tell you all the difficult techniques. Maybe some of them will give you good techniques for a higher cost, whatever. I'm going to make videos, all right, of each task which I found it easy and I could perform it well, of the elevator way, simple steps. But again, it would be good if somebody can demonstrate it to you once and you do it in front of the mentor, each step. That is the best way you remember. So this is what I feel should be the ideal thing that should be done. So if you can see here, the first step, affordable way to prepare. The first is, all you need is a 3-day course of technical. Yeah, I'm not kidding. 3 days are enough. How, right? So in this 3 days, all these needs to be done. You need to learn just to practice on three teeth, the crown preparation and the provisionals 1 3 1 1 4 6. You need to learn endo on 1 6 and 2 6, composite on 1 1 and 1 4, amalgam on 2 6 and 4 6, and caries on 3 6 and 2 6. So, but how? You know, why am I saying so less teeth? You will be practicing eventually on all of them. But when you do on this table that I'm giving you, you'll know everything. And then you can practice and practice and practice and make yourself better. Practicing is important to reduce the time of your task. So when I did my first crown prep, I took almost 1 hour 50 minutes. Huge time. You should not take that much time, of course. Eventually, by practice and knowing the right steps, I came down to 50 minutes, which is a good time. Now, when I say practice and reach the nice steps, if you don't know what you're doing, you'll keep on doing the same thing, and then you'll make on the same mistake. So what needs to be done is your every burr motion that you do has to be a conscious decision of why you're doing it. It's not like you're running the burr here and there in the crown preparation or any of the other tasks for that matter. Even if you're doing a carving, you should know in which motion you're doing and how many times you're supposed to do in that motion. And if you follow those steps, which you will by default start remembering, and that's where the practice comes into picture. So you need to know properly guided steps to do each tasks. So when I say you will do crown prep on 1 3 1 1 and 4 6, you should ideally take a mentor who sits with you. You have your jaw in one hand and the mentor has the jaw in another hand. And if I were the mentor, what I would do is I will take my burr and I will ask you to take it at the same time, 2 chairs together, and I will make one motion and I will tell you which motion I am doing, at what depth I am going, and at exactly which place and I am doing that motion. I'm going to cut this groove now, then I'm going to cut this groove now, and you do it in front of me with me. When you are going to do like this, you will learn the tasks so easily. Like, I wish somebody would have told me that. It's not like I will give you the demo at once. Look, this is how the crown prep is done. Now you go and do it. Well, you saw it, yes, but then you don't know exactly what I did and how I did it. You were seeing what I'm doing, but you don't know how I'm doing it. Like, what is the thought process in my mind while doing it? And why I'm doing this step at this particular time and step number 10 at the point of step 10, you know? So all these steps have to be verbally spoken, which I have not seen any of the mentors to do, okay? They will just say, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Why, and what result it's going to get. What if you do that step now? What complications you can go through. If you do a mistake, how can you correct it? Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I feel this is the best way to go. And once you learn these 3 teeth, you can prepare any of the other teeth. Because canines are a different one, central incisors have a different way, and the molars have a different way of preparation. So in all, if once you understand the step, I'll give you any tooth. You'll prepare it in no time, you know. Same way with endo, composite, there are little tips here and there which you need to follow, and then you can do the task. See, I understand you may be the best clinician on earth, but ADC teeth are very different, and the rubrics of them is again different. We unconsciously follow those rubrics in our practice, but they may not be just perfect because we also check the occlusion of the patient and the comfort of the patient. In the ADC job, we are not checking the occlusion. So you cannot adjust, you understand? So you have to stick to their criterias. And there are 15 criterias for every task, and you have to remember them all, which you will start eventually with practice. So this is how you're supposed to do. And in 3 days, of course, all the demos with you knowing all the tasks would be done. Then you go back to your place and you practice daily for 2 hours. That's it. This is what I did. I cut down on my working hours and I used to practice 2.5 hours daily. But then I did that for 6 months. I didn't do it for like 2 or 3 months, 10 hours a day. So yes, it did get exhausting because sometimes there are days when there are days, you know, you just get exhausted. And then there were days when, so, you know, when I started practicing, I used to work 6 days a week and 1 day used to be off. So in the last 6 months, I did not take my off. That my off day was my practice day for 5 hours because I needed to understand that I can go for this long time because I have to give my technical exam, which will last for 6 hours. So, and I need to time my tasks so that I don't get exhausted, because in certain tasks you just stop seeing, because you're so constantly seeing with the loops and such bright light that you just stop seeing. You're like, what just happened? So this will happen with you also. But once you learn this, you go back to your clinic, you keep practicing. Practice for 6 months, it's okay. I must have done practice over 120 plus teeth, I guess. That's it, not like 200 or 300 teeth. Because once I understood the technique, I knew this is what I'm going to do, even if I'm doing the 200th tooth. And plus, I didn't have that much time also. And the teeth are also expensive, man. Endo teeth, $24 US dollars one tooth, and I did like 22 of them. So, anyways, but one thing I give it to the exam is when I started with amalgam, I actually cried. I'm like, what is this? But eventually, it went on to become my favorite task, and I was excelling in it. So I loved amalgam then eventually. So that gave me a lesson. It's okay, even if I'm not good at something, practice and practice and practice with a good heart and an open mind. I'll learn it eventually. So this is a lesson which I knew, but it needed to be brushed, and it's brushed in my head now. Also, one other brave thing that I achieved is I traveled alone, all by myself. I know it's not a big thing for a lot of people, but it's a big thing for me because I'm a person who wouldn't go out after 9 o'clock, alone outside my home. So traveling all the way there with no contacts, no family members, just a couple of people that I know, was a big thing for me, and yeah, kind of achieved it. So great. Like that fear is gone. Like you can be fearful and courageous at the same time, so yeah, that was good. Yeah. Now that was the technical part. Now how to prepare the OSCEs. Honestly, it takes 2 to 3 months. There are 67 or 66 communication OSCE cases, and you need to practice them at least 3 times, minimum 3 times. So if you're good with your communication, great. But even if you're not good with the language, it's okay. You just need to ask the right set of questions. The examiner's accent was a little heavy. See, I live in Dubai and I treat a lot of different nationality people, so I'm pretty much used to hearing different accents and I get it. But if you are just in a particular country, born and raised, studied all over there, and suddenly going to Australia, and with them wearing the mask, it can become difficult for you to understand their accent. So practicing often will make you more conscious and aware. So ideal way to go about it is you should read the notes. You take the communication OSCE notes. I'm also planning to prepare, but it's going to take some time. Unless a lot of candidates message me, then I'll be really motivated, and then I'll be like, okay, let's do this. So you need to read that note, and then you need to practice. You should practice with a sturdy partner, and then with a mentor, you should have at least 4 sessions where the mentor can tell you where you can improve and what you're doing good. But major thing in communication OSCE is sympathy and empathy. Like for example, the examiner says, oh, I had this and that's why I could not come. You should say, I'm sorry to hear about that. Manners, basically, they are looking for you to have good manners, empathy, and eye contact. That's their effective communication. Like, don't look here and there when they are talking to you. Bang on in the eyes, that's effective communication, and that's how you'll practice communication OSCE. It's not a big thing. You don't have to pay many thousands of dollars to just get it. You're a clinician, you know how to deal with the patient. Just walk in the clinic like a clinician, not as a student or a candidate. Like, he's your patient, deal with it. When you go with that attitude and you know your stuff, you'll able to do it. But yeah, you should read the notes to know which cases can be asked. They will tweak a little bit of the scenario, but majorly the cases are the same. Like all the 6 cases that came, I knew that I had studied them. So that's what I did. I did my OSCE sessions with my first mentor almost once a week, and 4 months, yeah, around 4 months I did it. And that I was confident with that. The third part is all those people who are staying in Australia, good for them. But all those people like me who are traveling so many hours, you'll be jet lagged. So go at least 8 days before the exam. 2 days, your body will try to adjust to the atmosphere out there. And you take 5 days of practice in Australia then. If you're staying in Australia, then you can practice there. But don't practice in your country and then fly there and then directly go and give the exam. No, your hand needs to get adjusted again. So do 5 days of practice, 4 days of technicals, and take one skilled OSCE course, so that you are just well set before the exam. So I think this is the most affordable way. So you take a 3-day technical course first and come and practice with the mentor, learn each step where and how, and how you park your car in a parallel parking. You know how much steps you're supposed to go behind, take a full right turn, then make the car straight, then take a full left turn, and then park. So exactly, you should know the steps where and how, and which guidelines, signpost to see this is the time I'm supposed to turn my car. So this is exactly how you're supposed to practice the technical tasks. Like, just know it, like this is what it is. So if you do a 3-day course, you're going to spend less, and then you practice in your own clinic and you have the time, so you're not abandoning other things and you're at the same time earning from your clinic. And then you just go there for 5 days and do. So you should not be paying, I mean, your entire cost should be 1/10 of what the other people are asking outside. Like, I just recently came to know some people are asking for 9,000 Australian dollars for technical course, and then OSCE course people are asking for somewhere around $2,700, which is like what, approximately 13,000 Australian dollars for just the course. And then you have to practice 2-3 months by yourself, and then go and give the exam and again take a 5-day course. Wow. So $6,000 for the exam, around $13,000 for the courses, 20,000 Australian dollars for just one attempt. No, not required. But unfortunately, when people don't clear or they don't understand what needs to be done, even after the courses, there are people who are like, yeah, the mentor came and showed and left, and I was practicing and I didn't know half of the things that I was doing. It leaves a bad, unpleasant experience. And then you look out for any other mentor or course who's nicely advertising that, I'm going to teach this and my tips are going to work and my techniques are going to work. So again, you end up taking a full course there because you don't want to fail in the next attempt. You have that scary part. You failed in first, you were not confident, you were not well prepared because you didn't know the steps. And who's going to tell you the steps? Not ADC, they have not written anywhere. So you'll come to know of the steps only if somebody is teaching you, and for teaching they charge such a hefty amount because they know they can exploit it. So this is what ADC is about. I want to try and be as helpful as possible. I don't have those mannequins of skilled OSCEs. Otherwise, I would love to give each step in detail. But what I can do is, I can speak about it, of what I went through, and you can write about it. And then I can also write about it and share it. But that's going to take some time because of this exam thing. I left out on tons of other stuff, which I'm also supposed to do. But I can try and do one video every 3 or 4 days in detail. And then you can practice that way if you would like me to do that. But anyways, I'll just give out my tips or something like this. Whoever it helps, So I hope this video was helpful, and let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you want to ask me about it. Feel free to email me. Feel free to WhatsApp me. Feel free to leave a comment here, and I'll get back to you. Bye-bye.